Hi everyone, Teresa Aker here with Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. I have a new background. Can you see that? It's kind of different with the virtual world because as I move, the screen kind of moves with it. But I wanted to get my logo up. I wanted to make up some changes, and I'm learning all the time about technology. And one of the big things about success stories and success diaries is people talk about things they overcome and achieve in life. And I like to think that we're always learning and always developing. And so this is kind of a new experience for me, but I learned how to do it. And it's not that hard if you want to know how to do the backgrounds, really quite simple. You would need a logo. If you have a logo there, you'd be able to put it up in your backgrounds. And if you want to know, just message me in the notes. I'll tell you how to do it. So hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. I want to talk about success stories, success diaries, how we go through life and have some ups and downs and how we get through it. So I've given you some motivational speaking parts, things about how to one, overcome adversity, how to use negativity in your favor, how to do many, many things to achieve your goal. So today I want to talk to you about mindsets. Now, I know there's a lot to be said about manifestation. And I have probably had in my life, and I'll bet you have too, many, many times where you thought about something and you manifested it and you can't believe you manifested it. You're like, oh my God. So there was one time, long time ago, I had bought some stocks. They were just small stocks. They were like $1. But I knew somehow the way the market was going in this specific area that they should do well. So I purchased them and I thought, okay, let's see where it goes. Well, it took about 2 months and they just stayed the same. And I thought, was it even worth trying? But I had a mindset that I was going to make it in this particular stock field because I knew the market was shifting that way. And I kind of had an inner knowing and can't really explain it to you, but I did have an inner idea that this was the way to go. So I didn't really doubt myself too much, but I did have those moments. I thought, no, Teresa, just do it. Now, one thing I will tell you with the stock market, and this again, see your advisor before you do it. I'm in no way telling you to go ahead and buy stocks. I'm just saying this is what happened to me. So I bought these stocks, put in the money, watched them go. And I think I started in like February of that year with them. And nothing really happened. Then all of a sudden, I was thinking, these stocks are starting to move a little bit. I decided, you can't believe it. I wrote down because I follow author Think and Grow Rich is the book by Napoleon Hill. And I thought, I'm going to get a mindset that I'm going to make money off this. And this is a true story. So I said, that's it. As I saw them start to move, I thought, okay, I want to make 90,000 in 90 days. So I wrote that out on a piece of paper. This is the truth, I swear. Wrote out, I want to make 90,000 in 90 days. Oh my goodness, the stocks in July, was July 4th. They went from what I had put in, they had jumped $4,000. And then from there, they just kept going and going. I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you that year. And I absolutely have that in my bank account. They made $89,900 that year. That is the honest truth. I couldn't believe it, but part of me could believe it. So that was a moment in life that I realized you can manifest. However, there's a number of things that had to happen there. You can't be what I found in life for manifesting. You can't be stressed out. You have to be calm about it. You kind of almost have to have a, I don't care if it works out or not, attitude. And I'll tell you why I know this, because I've had other encounters that happened exactly the same way. So I absolutely made that money. In fact, even some of my neighbors knew I made that money and I showed them. So my husband was ecstatic. So I absolutely did it, do it. But I followed a pattern. I knew unequivocally what this particular stock should do. The market had gone in a certain direction. It was the type of stocks that should grow. There was a lot of things that had to happen in my favor. And as they started to grow, I started to manipulate that. When I say that, had the amount in, but I actually put some more in because I knew that they were growing. So there was some things that I did on my own. I'm not a financial advisor nor am I a stock person, but I definitely did it that way. And they definitely made a lot of money that year. Now, after that, I didn't make that kind of money in that, but it was a moment that I actually did, but I had planned that. So now here's another time. And the reason I'm telling you these two times is because this is completely different. I was out in the dating world a long time ago, and I'm out with my friends, and I had two very dear friends of mine. They came out with me that night, and I said, you know what? I'm done in the dating world. It's time for me to find a man that I'm going to commit to. And you know what happened? You can't believe it. That night, I met my husband. I swear, we went out to a beautiful restaurant we had here in my city, and us girls were out having drinks, and he, my gosh, came over to ask me to dance. And you can't believe, oh, wait, I have to back that up a bit. So a week prior to that, oh my goodness, I have to back this story up a bit. So imagine I'm out with one of those friends, not both of them, and I'm having lunch at a restaurant with her. We're just having lunch. And there's a table over from the just across, and all these people started walking towards the table. It was obvious they were having a meeting. And I happened to realize one of them was a counselor. In fact, I realized the whole table were counselors. So I said to him, to my friend, isn't he good looking? And she said, oh my gosh, maybe we didn't have the same taste, whatever, but I thought he was gorgeous. So anyway, but he was much older than me. And she actually said that. She said, he's a lot older than you. But anyway, so now going back to the day, a week later, I swear we're all out. We couldn't believe it. He was in the restaurant and he was up having fun and dancing. And my goodness, I looked over at him. I thought, that's the guy, that's the counselor. And he saw me dancing on the floor, came back to the table with my friend, and she said, he's following you. And he came over and he asked me to dance. And oh my goodness, we danced, and the rest, you can't believe it. I met my husband. We ended up getting married. Now, it took him about 10 years, but but we definitely got married. So I mean, that's, I manifested that. I knew that in my heart of heart. So I want to tell you, the whole point of all of this is when we set goals and we plan for the future, you kind of have to decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do. You have to add the logic in there. It's got to be something that your goal makes sense. Okay. You have to look at all the elements that go around it. So you have to be in the right place. You can't just sit at home and go, okay, my husband's going to arrive at home. If it happens to you, that's amazing. But I really think you're going to have to go out in the world and meet people. So, I mean, there's a logistics to it. But manifesting, I can honestly say, I have done it in my lifetime. And I've done it by setting a goal. And I actually put a time limit on one of them. You can do it, but you have to really be focused on what you're doing. Now, the other thing I will tell you is I was laser focused on getting that sort of idea forward. So I got up in the morning and thought about my goal. I wrote it out on a piece of paper. I actually wrote Post-it notes on my mirror, my bedroom, all over the place. I do that to this day. I still do it when I'm doing something. When I started this talk show, I started last October. I said, I'm going to have a talk show by next year. I want to have it up and running, and I want to help people. I want to bring people's stories so that they can help others. And I also want to share mine to help others. So I said by April, well, guess what? I had it up and running by January, because once you set a goal and you have a time frame, you're actually laser focused on that. When you add the time frame, it gives you that your mindset says, oh, okay, this person's serious about this. I'm going to do what I can. And circumstances, people, and events do arise. They actually form when you're ready, but you have to be ready. And you have to be ready to receive. Sometimes you get thoughts and you get ideas and you actually talk yourself out of them. So if you're manifesting something, you really have to look around and you really have to say, okay, I have the right mindset. I'm not stressed. I've written out my goal. I have a time for that goal, and I'm prepared to receive whatever signs, people, events, or plans that arrive that are going to get me to my goal. And I would add one more thing. One thing I do is I look at the end. I have a video on that. I start from the end. So I think, okay, that's where I want to be. so that in between, no matter what happens, because things are going to happen, you may get some setbacks. You may get some ups and downs. You may have things that circumstances that don't get you to where your goal is exactly the way you thought it would be. So you have to be open for that. And you have to say, no matter what, that's my goal. I'm going to stick to it. So today really is about manifesting, whether it works or doesn't. Now, I do know times when it doesn't seem to be working, but there is a moment when remember I said I started in the stocks in February, but nothing happened for a long time. It took till July for the needle to really move, but I did see glimpses of it. So that kept me kind of in the game. So same with my husband. I met him, but remember I said it took him 10 years. There was a long time. We both had families. We both had commitments. We had to decide when would be a right time. We dated for a while. We got to know each other's families. We actually lived together before we married to see if that would even work. Because when we have a blended family, you have to think of those things. So, there is a logistics that it may not be instantaneous, but you definitely can set goals. Write them out. Decide what you want. I had written out another one a long time ago about the home that I was moved to. And I said, I want to have a 4-bedroom home because I have 3 children. I want to have a husband. I want to have all of those things. I wrote it all out. And I think it took about, 3 years to find the home of my dreams with the man of my dreams and what we were going to do. But maybe even 5 years. I'm trying to think when I originally wrote that plan out. But I write plans every single day. And I definitely, and honestly, you're manifesting every day. I know you've had moments where you went, oh my goodness, it really happened. So I think sometimes we just have to trust the universe, trust ourselves, trust our emotions, and trust the plan. And then it all comes together. So I hope that was helpful for you today. I'd love to hear anything that you had in dreams and manifestations, things that you wanted to have happen. Love to hear from you. Let's share that. I'm going to have new guests on the program and some guests that have been on before to talk about their ambitions, their goals, their dreams. And you're going to find out that they manifested a lot by being laser focused, making a plan, setting a date, and sticking to it. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed today. Definitely subscribe to my channel. I truly appreciate that. I want to bring you more on motivation, on goal planning, on manifestation, things that happen. And guess what? You're never too old or too young to set your goals and make a difference. So I hope you're having a great day. My name's Teresa Aker from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. Do subscribe to my channel. I truly appreciate that. I hope you're all having a great day, and I look forward to talking to you soon.